Honorable Sunday Cyriacus Umeha, born February 20, 1983 in Akama-Oghe, Ezeagu, Enugu State, Nigeria, is a lawyer and a politician. He currently represents the Ezeagu Udi Federal Constituency of Enugu State in the 10th National Assembly, having been elected on the Labour Party platform. Honorable Umeha began his education at Community Primary School, Akama-Oghe, and Housing Estate Primary School. He continued at Annunciation Secondary School in Neke, Enugu, earned a Bachelor of Laws, LLB degree from Enugu State University in 2007, and was called to the Nigerian Bar in 2009. After completing his studies at the Nigerian Law School, he started his legal career at Anthony SAN and Associates in Enugu State and gained experience in various legal fields. In 2020, Honorable Sunday founded SCAV Umeha Co, a law firm specializing in election petitions, land and constitutional law. Honorable Umeha's political journey began in 2012 when he was elected as councillor for Akama-Oghe ward in Ezeagu local government area under the People's Democratic Party (PDP). Although he sought the PDP nomination for the Enugu State House of Assembly in 2015, he was unsuccessful and subsequently contested the decision in court. In the 2023 elections, Honorable Umeha was elected to the House of Representatives, defeating Dr. Festus Sunday Amerchena Uzo. In the House of Representatives, Honorable Umeha serves as the Deputy Chairman of the House Committee on Justice and is a member of the House Committee on Constitutional Review. Additionally, he chairs the Nigeria-Ethiopia Parliamentary Group and participates in committees overseeing the Constitutional Review, Public Account, Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC), Power, Insurance, and Accrual matters. Through his legal expertise and dedication to public service, Honorable Sunday Cyriacus Umeha continues to contribute significantly to his constituency and the broader Nigerian society.
Hello and welcome to the program NASS Unplugged. I am Ada Oka, and here with me today is Honorable Barrister Sunday Cyriacus Umeha. He is representing Ezeagu Udi Federal Constituency in the 10th National Assembly. Honorable, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you, my dear sister.
You are a lawyer. Can you share with us your journey into law and politics and what inspired you to pursue this field?
All right. As a young man, I studied law at the Enugu State University of Science and Technology. I graduated in 2007. I proceeded to Nigerian Law School, Abuja, the same year, 2007, where I had my law school education. Then in 2008, I was called to the Nigerian Bar, and I began to practice immediately after being called. I did my pupillage, first with Ikeyi Ogakwikeyi, and later to Anthony and SAN. And in the year 2020, after extensive and robust legal practice and engagements, I established SCAV Umeha Co, which is my law firm. Currently, the law firm is still ongoing, though I'm no longer in it. But the law firm has not less than 12 lawyers within it, rendering services to a spectrum of clients that we have. Now, in 2022, I began my journey towards representing the people of Ezeagu Federal Constituency. First, within the political family of PDP, where I was a member. I ran for the primaries, but due to lack of internal democracy in the party and the lack of transparent exercise, I left the party and joined the Labour Party, where I became the candidate of the party in the 2023 general election. I contested, and by the special grace of God and the collective support of the people of Ezeagu, Udi Federal Constituency, I was elected, declared winner, and later sworn in as a member representing Ezeagu, Udi Federal Constituency. Like you asked me what inspired my journey into the political world, the reason is not far-fetched. As a young man growing, I am so passionate about my people, and the major driving force is to see how we can use the instrumentalities of effective representation to advance the infrastructural decay, the academic backwardness, the agricultural poor performance, and so many other vices that are prevalent within my constituency, particularly the people of Ezeagu. I wasn't so satisfied with the level of our backwardness in terms of infrastructure and so many other things. And I felt that most of the time the problem we have in our country is that people shy away from politics. Yes, I was doing well as a lawyer. Virtually I have everything I think of. But if all of us continue to say no, let's leave politics for politicians, or let's leave leadership for politicians, then we'll continue to sit and be complaining. Then I said, no, I can truly be an answer to this particular issue that is facing our people, and that's how I volunteered myself. And alongside with like minds, we sold our manifesto, we sold our plans to the people, and it was massively embraced, and that's culminated in the victory we had in the 2023 election. So actually, it was the burning desire to see how we can uplift the economic fortune, the infrastructural fortune of my constituency that actually endeared me or propelled me into, contesting for this particular position. So that's just the basic thing.
Okay, you mentioned, you talked about how you were able to join politics. It's more like you pushing yourself to do it. So what message do you have for other youths who actually are interested in politics, but they've not been able to? So, nothing has inspired them to actually venture into it. What do you have to say to them to encourage them to try what you've actually done to be where you are today?
Yeah, I think they should see myself as an example, because there's always a saying that youths are the leaders of tomorrow. To me, I don't believe that. I believe we are the leaders of our today and tomorrow. If we continue to say tomorrow, when will that tomorrow come to be? I started my political journey actually in 2012. That is when I had the first political position. I was elected as a councillor of my ward, and I served 2 terms. In 2015, I ran for the primaries of PDP for House of Assembly election for Ezeagu State Constituency. Yeah, in that election, there was an understanding at the end of the day, and the immediate past Deputy Governor of Enugu State, Right Honorable Ezeagu, was asked to take the nod for her to go back. She was then in the House of Assembly to go back for the second tenure. So why I shared this particular story is because we need consistency. You see, if you try and you didn't get, continue to push. I believe that the solution to the mass of problem facing Nigeria lies with the youth. If actually we can discover ourselves and know truly that if we take the mantle of leadership of this country, that definitely will make Nigeria what we want it to be. So I encourage every young man out there, don't sit and say that the system is so toxic, or that the system is so complex, or that it's too difficult, or that it is unfriendly. No, you see, we have to take the bull by the horn. If you don't make concerted effort, you can't get it. I tried in 2015, it couldn't work out. In 2022, I went in for the primaries in PDP. The same system that we've been complaining of, lack of transparency. So one person was anointed in an undemocratic manner. And myself being a lawyer and having been in the practice for almost 14 to 15 years, extensive and robust practice, I felt it was injustice of the highest order and it ought to be challenged. Because they wanted a situation where one person would be a sole candidate for the entire constituency. And we said no, and as God may have it, a platform that is people-oriented, people-driven, people's movement came up, and I still embraced the opportunity, tried it more, convinced the people, and they saw reasons with me. That's how I found myself here. So to every youth out there, I encourage every one of us, let us make Nigeria the great Nigeria we want it to be. It is possible. You see, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a footstep. The saying is that Rome was not built in a day. It's a reality. Let's start today. We can make Nigeria great. Thank you.
Okay. As Deputy Chairman of the Committee on Justice, what are your primary responsibilities and how far have you gone achieving these responsibilities? What measures have you taken or are you taking to achieve these responsibilities?
Yeah, thank you first. Let me appreciate the Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, for the privilege and opportunity he gave to me as a first-timer to be the Deputy Chairman of House Committee on Justice. It's one of the most important and fundamental committees we have in the National Assembly. My role, or our role as a Committee on Justice, is to oversight certain government agencies and ministries. For example, the major ministry is Ministry of Justice. We also have other agencies under it, like Nigerian Council of Legal Education, that's Nigerian Law School. You have Law Reform Commission, you have Legal Aid Council, you have so many other agencies under that we also oversight. So far, it has been a very wonderful experience. We've been able to a large extent, live up to the expectation because we've been able to, adequately oversight the Ministry of Justice. You also know that Ministry of Justice is a very important ministry in Nigeria because the legal framework of the entire country lies within the ministry. So time to time, we'll look into their actions, their activities to ensure that actually the Nigerians are not lacking in terms of effective legal advice, effective legal representation, and to ensure that the policies of government are in line within the ambit of the law. So we have actually done that. We've also, as a committee, been able to oversight another important institution, which is the Nigerian Council of Legal Education or Nigerian Law School. This is where lawyers, the future senior advocates, judges, are produced from. So if you don't oversight them to ensure that all is well then what it means is that in the long run, the output from there will not meet the demands of the society. So far, it has been a wonderful experience. During the last budget defense, the Nigerian masses could bear us witness how robust we engaged the Attorney General of the Federation on the issue of some of the funds recovered. The Attorney General publicly, without any reservation, explained all the processes involved, the condition precedent, the condition subsequent, and assured Nigerians that these funds will be utilized in line with the agreements reached. So everything were made to come to the fore without anything being hidden. So far, so good. It has been a wonderful experience, and I thank God for the opportunity. You know, this is my profession, and finding myself within the ambit of what I read and what I've practiced for years, I think it was really a nice experience.
What role do you play in the Nigeria-Ethiopia Parliamentary Group, and what are your goals in that position?
All right, I also still thank the Speaker for that privilege to have appointed me the Chairman, Nigeria-Ethiopia Parliamentary Friendship Group. My basic role is to foster a legislative cooperation between the Nigerian Parliament and the Ethiopian Parliament, also to ensure that areas of mutual interest, areas of mutual benefit between the two countries are actually pursued and realized. It has also given us opportunity to look into some other important issues between Nigeria and Ethiopia. In fact, to a large extent, our committee has been inundated with several petitions from Nigerians complaining about some Nigerians that are incarcerated in Ethiopia. The committee is also collaborating effectively with the Ethiopian government, the parliament, and everything to see how best to ensure that Nigerians all over there are handled and treated in line with the exact provisions of the law, so that the citizens of the country will not be unduly treated or maltreated. So that's exactly, we've been fostering the cooperation, and the results are there, and we'll continue to try every effort to make sure that it becomes a worthwhile experience for the country.
Now, as a member of the Constitutional Review Committee, what specific constitutional amendments are you advocating for?
Well, there are many constitutional amendments that I'm advocating for, not actually one, but the one you can say is on the front burner, which is to a large extent an area of interest to many Nigerians, especially those of us from the Southeast, is the issue of state creation, to make sure that at least a minimum of one state, I'm not saying it's going to be one, is created for Southeast. We strongly believe that Southeast is not at par with other zones of the country. Currently, we have only 5 states in the Southeast, which is the least compared to other zones. So we are saying, for the purposes of equality, for the purposes of inclusivity, for the purposes of a sense of belonging, that it will do us well to consider giving additional states to Southeast. So it is something that we are very, very serious with. Outside that, we are also advocating for electoral reforms. You see, so many other issues, the local government autonomy. When I mean autonomy in the real sense of it. If you look at it, the Supreme Court, to a large extent, came to the aid of Nigerians when they granted some level of financial autonomy to the local government by holding that allocation to local government should be paid directly to local government coffers. But in practice, we have seen that that judgment alone might not be able to truly guarantee the independence of the local government, the autonomy of the local government. I am a part of the people proposing that the process of election of local government officials, for example, the local government chairman and councillors, the election should be conducted by INEC instead of NCEC, because there is a saying that he who pays the piper dictates the tune. A situation where governors of states appoint the state independent electoral commission staffs or the management, it goes a long way to say that, with all due respect, that the will of the sitting government at the time might be the working tool of the members of that state independent electoral commission. But if we have INEC as the umpire in charge of that election, it will whittle down to a large extent the influence of state governors on the processes of election of local government executives. In fact, there were allegations in some quarters that even in the light of the Supreme Court judgment, that some local government chairmen signed power of attorney, surrendering the same financial autonomy to the state government. So all manner of things are going on. So I am one of the big advocates that a true independent autonomy of the local government should be guaranteed by our constitution. So if it is guaranteed, then the government at the grassroots will be result-oriented. What I mean is that you will see more effectiveness of local government administration. You will see more results in terms of infrastructure, in terms of economy, in terms of government being closer to the grassroots, if actually they are truly autonomous. So it's one of the things I can tell you that I'm one of the greatest champions in the ongoing constitutional review or constitutional reform or amendment. So, thank you.
Now let's look at your constituency. You are representing Ezeagu Udi Federal Constituency in the 10th National Assembly. So what are the most pressing challenges in the Ezeagu Udi Federal Constituency, and how far have you gone addressing them?
Yeah, like I said when we started, one of the biggest challenges that propelled my entrance into this race is the infrastructural deficit, or infrastructural decay of the local governments, particularly the Ezeagu local government. And at the moment, I am doing everything within my possible means to see how best we can address it. You see, it's not something that can be done in a day. When I talk about infrastructure, this I mean we don't have good roads in the Ezeagu local government, even in some part of Udi local government. In some of the communities, we have not less than 43 communities in the Ezeagu local government. Majority of these communities have no access or good access, to pipe-borne waters. In some of these communities, there is no electricity. In some of these communities, there are no good primary health care. In some of these communities, there are no good educational infrastructure, and so many other issues bedeviling these local governments. And you know, I am only but a legislator, but I believe that beyond my primary role of making laws, that being committed to this cause, I can in one way or the other also influence, facilitate some of these things to be done in my constituency. And that's exactly what we are doing. Another challenge that is facing us in these two local governments that made up my constituency is the issue of insecurity. As a legislator, I have limited powers when it comes to the issue of security. The governor of the state is the chief security officer of the state. But I also believe that I can play my little role to complement whatever effort the government is making to ensure adequate security. I've had a security summit for the local governments where the representatives of the Nigerian Army, Air Force, DSS, other security agencies were there. We discussed the security challenges facing our place, and profile solutions have been following up with those solutions, and to a large extent, they're also yielding results. There were also a time when some of my constituents were murdered in a manner that is so unfortunate. I also brought up the issue before the House and moved it as a motion. A committee was set up by the House. We went for public hearing in Enugu. At the end of the day, recommendations were made. And those recommendations, some of them have been fully implemented. So insecurity, lack of good infrastructure are the two major. There are other problems facing my constituency. And by the special grace of God, we'll continue to collaborate with government at the center, government at the state, local government, and other stakeholders to see how best we can partner to address these challenges.
Okay, and just as a way of rounding up, how are you addressing unemployment and educational challenges in Ezeagu, Udi?
Thank you very much. I'll give you some clips of the second edition of our JAMB sponsorship program. Why I'm so committed to educational project is because my father, my mother, I didn't have the privilege of having Mr. President or former governor as my father or my mother. They are average Nigerian citizens, and they did all they could, and actually it paid off to make sure that I have access to good education. And if not education, I don't think I would have been here. Therefore, the highest empowerment we can give to any Nigerian child, any Nigerian citizen, is access to quality education. That's why part of my legislative agenda includes, and most fundamentally, empowerment of our people by giving them access to quality education. The last year, during my first year in office, I started an annual JAMB registration exercise where we register our constituents who are desirous of going into JAMB examinations but could not afford the fees. We did it last year. Not less than 300 persons benefited. This year, the second edition was held on the 25th of February. The clips are there, the videos are there, the testimonies of beneficiaries are there. We also provided scholarships because some of these students, when they go for this exam, they do well, and you see some of them not having the opportunity of getting somebody that will take the responsibilities of them furthering their academics or education. So we also provide scholarships to them to the best of our ability. I'm not a local government chairman, I don't have allocation, I'm not a governor, I'm only but a servant, a representative of the people. But within the meager resources available, we'll try to make maximum use of it for a greater result. So in terms of education, at the same time, part of my project so far is also, I've also constructed or facilitated the construction of six-room classroom at Ezeagu, fully constructed and well equipped. The students are making use of it. The videos are there. I will speak another 2-room blocks classroom is also being constructed at Akama-Oghe. That's still ongoing, and so many other interventions in the educational sector. So remember that we just had only about 2024 budget, which is still running. As of today, it will end by June 2025. So we're only within the first budgetary year within my first tenure. So if we can do the much we have done within that first year, now that the 2025 has been passed and the funding is about to commence, we look forward to having more inputs in the educational sector as far as our constituency is concerned. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for coming to our program today. We are happy to have you.
Thank you. It's a
pleasure.
Thank
you for your time.
I'm happy to have you people to continue the good work, and I urge Nigerian citizens to keep on listening to
NASS Unplugged
station. Thank you, and God bless you all.
And this is where we wrap it up today on our program. Thank you for watching.
And that's how much we can take on today's edition of the program NASS Unplugged. Thank you for tuning in and staying informed. Join us again on Friday for another interesting edition of the program. Until then, do stay out of trouble. Thank you for watching. I am Grace Ike.